Alright, hello. Just getting everything sorted out. Pulling up different platforms and such. You know how the music volume and the mic volume is as you come in? We're working on more eye-hand voice comics today. Working on the next page. Hope everyone's had a good week so far. It's Thursday. One more day left to this work week. Although when it comes to like what I do between like with art and creating videos and whatnot, I work quite a bit. I work even like on the weekends and whatnot, but like it's not. Very rarely do I actually consider it work. You know, I love doing it so much that I have fun with the process. Whether I'm drawing comics, if I got a logo design to work on. You know, I just love it, so I don't really see it as work. I get, you know, there's that saying, love what you do, never work a day in your life, that sort of thing. So that's what I've always tried to do with this. You know, being freelance, especially an artist like this, it's an unconventional living to have. You know, it's not your normal 9 to 5. Um, there's definitely a level of uncertainty that comes with some of it. You know, always having to kind of think ahead. Even when you're working on one project, you always got to kind of think ahead to the next project, what that might be, in order to keep everything moving. But I enjoy I enjoy doing it so much that I take the good with the bad. So, I mean, you can work a normal job, have a normal 9 to 5, you do good, and all of a sudden you get laid off, and you don't have a job, and you know you got a certain skill set that you built up, and so I mean, there's nothing is guaranteed. Um, in this life, no matter what it is and whatnot. So might as well try to do something that makes you happy and kind of gives you some level of fulfillment. That's how I feel about it, at least. You know, it's not necessarily an option for everybody and whatnot, but it's your call. It's, you know, it's your life. It's your call on how you want to live it. If you're new, please follow or subscribe. It helps out a ton. I've essentially been doing, or trying to do at least, weekly streams of the combo making process here. I'm just trying to get to a certain point. I've got some videos that I have planned, so I'd like to get to creating those. So I'm trying to get to a certain point on this project. So yeah, just be sure follow, subscribe, and stick around. If you're on Kick or Twitch right now, you can check out my YouTube channels where I have all of my video tutorials on drawing. I've got a lot of video tutorials on doing vector art and Affinity Designer and logo designs and such. I'm working on a how to draw series of videos as well. I've got the first few up. All right, so we're on this spaceship here and whatnot, and this character Curly has gone into the spaceship to save her friend Tim, who is Voice in the comic. He could actually turn invisible, and then he's got just a trench coat and whatnot. So his name is Voice because you just can't see him, you can only hear him. So that's where we're at right now. She's gotten here. She's trying to find him so that way she can get them out of here, and they can figure out what's going on. They were at an event, and these robots showed up. The one that's like right here in front of Curly showed up while Tim was boxing an opponent of his that will also pop up here in a little bit. So these robots came along, messed up the whole thing, and yeah, so now they're trying to rescue them and figure out, well, who are they? Why are they here? I just noticed for some of my shadows, I can leave like these white spaces I have in there, like filling the whole area in and making it completely black, except for a strong silhouette for her character here, since it's going to be a foreground element. But as far as these other elements, as opposed to doing just like one large black shape, kind of like breaking the shape up a little bit, for me this just adds a little more visual interest and essentially like some detail. Because, you know, light's going to be kind of bouncing around and getting in that area a little bit, so it might reflect off of some small metal pieces or wires or buttons or something like that, causing a little bit of a reflection and whatnot. I think that just kind of adds some detail in the scene. So it's a way to maybe add a little more information or make a scene seem more complicated than it actually is. And as we get further away into the background, the details become more and more subtle, less and less noticeable. As it's further away, so they kind of just start, you know, lines will then kind of turn into these dots, and they get smaller and smaller, so they recede all into the distance, and you can't see them anymore. Yep, just gonna keep moving along like this. So yeah, so as it gets like further away, as we get closer to here, you know, you can kind of start easing up on some of the detail. Um, you know, things won't be quite as noticeable as they get that much further away from you. Another thing I've been doing for like all of my background work, I'm using the Milli pen under marker here in Clip Studio. This gives me a nice flat line. You can see, even if I'm pressing hard, that line width does not change; it remains the same. So, for me, I feel like this works really well in backgrounds when you have, you know, solid lines for walls or for these tanks and stuff here. Having that one standard line, I think, works really well. At least for me, at least for the style that I'm going for with this, versus where we have the G pen here that you can change based on how hard you're pushing on it. You know, that certainly has its place, and there's nothing wrong with that. That would give you a livelier background, and by that I mean kind of like, say for instance, I was going to be inking a cabin in the woods. For a cabin in the woods, with how organic the logs can be, you know, they're not necessarily a perfect straight line. Something like that, I would use probably the G pen, where I can vary my line weight a little bit to kind of show some more of that organic nature of the material that I'm drawing. But when it comes to stuff that's more mechanical or man-made, I like using the Milli pen marker here to create those lines. It's more of a man-made, non, you know, inorganic object. So And then you see here, I'll switch over here to G10 and I'll start drawing in like the character shapes here that I want. Now these characters are quite, you know, far away for the most part. And they're in these like tubes and cases. So it's not going to be too much like detail. So in a situation like this, I would have to get to, still have it on vector eraser, no, that's okay. Hey Russ, okay, I hear you. Hey Russ, how are you? Is the audio any better over here on YouTube? It could be my settings, to be honest with you. I had to update my streaming software, so I had to remerge all my accounts. So yeah, just let me know what is wrong with the audio and if it's still that same way over here on YouTube. If it's not, then I gotta figure out what's up with Twitch. Okay, maybe my mic volume's no good. Mic check. No. Is that a little bit better? Can you hear me any better now? It's like up to my mic volume. A little better.
All right, that's probably what it was. How is it now? Is the volume on my voice better? All right, cool. Yeah, I had to change some settings, I guess. When I updated it, it didn't go to the default microphone. I don't know what mic it was trying to use. I appreciate the feedback, Russ. Thank you. Oh, that sounds awesome, Russ. That's really cool. I like that idea a lot. Um, I've always been super intrigued by that idea of having the ability to access past lives. I think that's pretty cool. But at the same time, I can also see how that may cause some problems. I really like that concept for the book a lot. That's really cool. That'll be fun. Sloka is such a great character, though. Oh, nice, Russ. That's cool. Sonya was super fun to draw. I just remember, yeah, her face. I had a lot of fun with her expressions. Sloka's just cool. Just in general, it's just a badass. Super strong character. Like, yeah, just so much fun. I definitely. Yeah, she was definitely one of the characters I had the most fun drawing. Yeah, you mentioned that, Russ. Definitely brings back some good memories. I still have all of those pages. I gotta get with you. I'd like to send you some of those pages, to be honest. I mean, I could go through and pick out certain pages to send you. I mean, I could even consider sending you the whole lot of them. But that's something that just depends on if that's something that you might be interested in. So I usually do lighter shadows, but let me try some darker shadows on him since he's got an energy blast going on here. The shadows be fairly harsh. Bring this one up and over. Yeah, so let's just go with a harsher shadow due to the super bright and that blast is coming from the middle, like of his chest, so it's going to be all the spots furthest away from that center. So it's going to be the outside of these shapes quite a bit. So there'll definitely be a shadow down here from the armor. And then the underside of this will be so I guess a couple things I'll mention now. I'll probably mention them a couple of times throughout the stream, just, you know, if people are in here or not at the time I mention it, you know. So I've been trying to stream at least once a day a week. It's usually been on Thursdays. Last week I streamed a little bit on Monday and a Tuesday and all. So I'm trying to stream more. As I'm working on this comic, I figured I might as well just go ahead and share the process. I can teach a little bit about it as I'm going, as I'm drawing it, and then anybody who's in chat can always ask me questions about the process, and you know, I can share some of my techniques on stream. Also figured by me doing the comic here online and sharing that process via stream that it would help me come up with other video ideas and content that you would like to see as far as tutorials go and things that might help or benefit your artwork. So with that being said, you know, I've been doing the streaming thing. I'm trying to get to a point where I can get a little bit ahead on the comic book pages, because what I would like to do is maybe next Thursday, as opposed to streaming, I might try to record one of the videos that I've been wanting to get done that I can upload, so I can upload to YouTube. So if you ever miss, if there's ever a week where I don't stream, always check out YouTube to see if I've uploaded a video instead. You can also keep up with me on my Discord and Patreon page. Especially on Patreon, if you're interested in any of the tutorials and stuff that I do on YouTube or just my art in general, if I do a tutorial on YouTube, I will upload, like for the vector stuff, I'll upload the working files so you can download the file itself and see how I used all the layers and manipulated different aspects of layers or layer qualities to get certain effects and whatnot. So it's a way of getting some extra content. For things like the comic here and whatnot, I'll be sharing the finished pages on my Patreon page in high resolution. And by becoming a member on my Patreon page, that obviously helps me out, a lot as well, and helps me continue to bring these, being able to take the time to create the videos or to do the streaming, as opposed to having to go out there and get one of those 9-to-5s. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I think is pretty cool is over on Twitch, you can now subscribe to me on Twitch. So you can either get your own subscription on Twitch, or you can gift a subscription to somebody else, another follower of mine on Twitch as a gift. Now, the subscriptions on Twitch will allow for ad-free streaming. So if you're watching on Twitch, you'll be watching the stream and all of a sudden an ad will pop up. A sub will also get you some special emotes and things like that to use on the channel and whatnot. But either way, it's really just another way of supporting me and helping me be able to continue to bring this content to you. If none of that's your cup of tea, you can certainly, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link. I have it here, and it's listed on my website. You could always go to the Buy Me a Coffee link, and a little donation helps out a ton as well. It's just really me trying to find ways of being able to continue sharing my art process and bringing you new how-to videos. And there's all these little different ways or places that you can, different ways depending on what you're looking to get out of it, of supporting me in order for me to be able to continue to do those things. But I was really excited about the sub thing on Twitch. I've really been trying to, and what I'm going to try to do, if I can get the community to help me out a bit, is I'm trying to reach affiliate on Twitch. I've got 36 followers now, and I need 50 followers on Twitch to reach affiliate. There's also a couple of other smaller requirements that you have to meet within a 30-day period in order to reach affiliate. But just the more people that kind of go over to Twitch, either hang out and chat with me on Twitch, that helps out a ton too, because I need a few unique chatters and viewers at the same time on Twitch. So again, there's a few different requirements in order to be able to reach affiliate. But at least being able to allow the subs on my channel for now is a good first step. I started my YouTube channel a little over 3 years ago. I think it was about April or so of 2022. I know it was 2022. I think it was about April or so of 2022. And I've really enjoyed my time creating videos and streaming. It's been a lot of fun. So it's just still something I continue to push and share and try to do. My first my first paying art job was actually teaching a how to draw a comic book, how to draw comics workshop at a local art store when I lived up in Jacksonville. Ready Arts was the store. Oh, I don't even know if they're still there. They're probably still there. I hope they're still there. But I haven't been up that way in a while and whatnot. But yeah, so store video arts, I started doing how to draw comic book workshops. So I actually got my start teaching art. So I've always been very passionate about teaching art, and so YouTube and then the streaming platforms are just an invaluable way for me to do so. That's why I'm always very appreciative of any support. In regards to my efforts of trying to continue to teach art here online. I'm also trying to work on like a way of getting like I'm trying to find a good solid way of like offering some merchandise, whether it's shirts or stickers or things like that. I'm not sure. In the sketch, I have her hand out kind of in front of her face, but I'm not sure it's super necessary. So my idea is like, so the whole shape, the whole ship. So here, let me show you real quick. Kind of where we're at in the story. I'm gonna pull up the last couple of pages. Hold on one second. So one of the pages that I had done here on stream, she's in the helicopter here. All her gear ends up falling out of the helicopter. She's got to bail out, so she jumps out of the helicopter into the alien ship. Then she's running around in the ships where she finds all the bodies and all these canisters here being ciphered for their energy. She meets her little alien buddies, beats them up a bit, and this is where that big mean robot's introduced. On this other page, mainly this section here, Ren, this girl here, gets information on where to strike the alien ship in order to bring it down. So hand writes out telling I, who's got this energy blast here, where to shoot the alien ship. So it's got to go right in the center there. So this ship was just shot. So now like the whole ship is shaking and it causes the robot guy to shut down here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to duplicate that layer, but then bring and make it really light. That was probably pretty good. I can even duplicate it again. But bring it down there. So that's like it's kind of intense looking, right? But I think that might end up working out. So we're gonna play with that for now. I'm gonna keep those different layers there. I do want to first, what I'll need to do is turn off these layers. So I'm going to add some background. So. That's not the button. There we go. Eraser out. Clean up some of these spots. Let's just take a quick look and see what. Let's still knock them down just a little bit. Let's back all that up just a little bit. I'm going to actually keep them at 25%. Okay. That one maybe I'll lower a bit. There we go. All right. Here, this one. That might be a little too aggressive. Maybe if we just get like the edges here, that might work. So I do want it to be bold. I want, you know, it's really shaking here, so. Okay. That's our main layer there. Do some little highlights on these, some of these waves a little bit. I think something like that could work. So this panel here, we've got the robot essentially powering down. If you have any questions, just let me know. Be happy to answer them. Just kind of getting into the process here a bit. So I'm going to make sure I'm keeping the perspective right here on like the robot, since his head's down, leaning down, he's powering down and whatnot. I want to make sure that I make sure this eye line is being placed in perspective properly. A little bit more, so he's just winding down. That. So let's just kind of cut this out a bit. Appreciate anybody hanging out. Appreciate you being here. I know sometimes the streams aren't like the most exciting. It's just, again, like this is like what I would be doing. So I'm always creating videos on how to and whatnot, but this is like the actual work and whatnot that I do. So I just want to hop on stream, even though I'm not chatting a whole lot. At least being able to share this process with you is my main goal, and in that way, my hope is that it may, prompt you, ask a certain question. Maybe you need help with something that you've been doing. So yeah, really just on here to try to share my process. So if you do have any questions, please let me know. If you're new, please subscribe and follow. It helps out a ton. Right now I'm trying to work my way up to affiliate over on Twitch. So your support definitely helps, definitely means a lot. I really appreciate it. I guess I was doing a little bit of drawing on the wrong layer there. But okay. Get rid of some of this. Let me get some. A couple things when it comes to digital art. You always want to consider what layer you're drawing on, and you always want to go ahead and save. You never know, you might have an issue. The program might crash out on you for whatever reason. I'm not saying Clip Studio in particular, but alright, so we get back to that shadow shape there. I want to go ahead and come in with the eraser. I'm just going to cut out this back section, kind of give it a little rim light. Light's coming back from behind. Not doing too bad there. So I'll just take a quick look at our page so far. It's got the first 3 panels done. It's coming along pretty nice. I like the overall. Something I like to do as I'm working on it, and I certainly do at the end of the page, before I, finalize it and send it off to James the writer and whatnot. But I want to make sure that when I'm looking at the whole page, that everything is flowing properly. So not only the actual storytelling of the page and the overall flow, but also just how the white, black, and gray tones are balancing with each other, and making sure that they're not too weighted on one side of each panel versus the other, so I want a nice flow. Something that we could take a quick look at here is the overall flow of storytelling on the page. So we typically read, left to right, up to down. So when we're coming in here, and then this shape here kind of directs us back down here, moving here, over here. This action is weighted on this side of the panel, so we kind of stop here, come back down into this panel, and then we're brought out of the page like that. So we got this zigzag pattern on the page. So just like we talk about gesture drawing in art, gesture drawing is about getting like the absolute essence of a figure in motion down, so the line of action, the actual energy and movement of the pose. So oftentimes gesture drawings are very quick and they're very line oriented. You just got lines to represent the overall action. This is essentially the gesture of a comic book page, the overall flow of the page and things that you want to consider as you're moving from left to right and then up and down. So the storytelling part of comics is certainly my favorite. I love working out that flow, so that really comes into play in the thumbnail process. Alright, so we're going to take a look at this panel here. And we'll do some work with these little alien creatures, guys. These little aliens we have here. this point, I kind of think the first one I had was probably okay. Yep, I do not like that. Alright, that's a little bit better. Alright. Curly, she's pretty upset. She wants to know where her friend Tim is. So she's none too happy with these guys. Alright, let's add some background here. I do want to maybe get some like emphasis lines in here. I don't want it to be too crazy. Nope. Okay, we're gonna mess around with this one just a little bit. Bring it down though. Here, we'll just that. All right, it's definitely making some progress on this page. Getting close to about the end of the stream here, probably. But I do want to mention real quick again, if you're not already following or subscribed, please do so. That helps out a ton, especially over on Twitch. You can sub or gift a sub to on Twitch, and that helps out a ton. I am trying to reach affiliate. Right now I have 36 followers on Twitch. So I need 50 and then a few other requirements in order to get to that affiliate status. So, if you're subscribed on YouTube and, if you can, hop over to Twitch and follow me on there, You can continue watching whichever platform you prefer. But if you at least follow me over there or sub, that'll help out a ton. There are numerous ways to support me and the channel. I have those listed on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube as well. To support me directly, there's the Buy Me a Coffee link. If you want more behind the scenes artwork, any of the high resolution images of the artwork that I finish here on the channel, or any behind the scenes or extra templates and vector assets for those projects and tutorials on YouTube, Twitch is the place for that. So if you just like to watch the videos that I post on YouTube or watch the streams, following and subbing to any of my channels is a great way to keep up with any of that. If you like the artwork that I'm producing and you want some more behind the scenes as far as techniques and the artwork itself goes, that you could do on Patreon. If you're already a member, either you're subbed on my channels or you're a member on Patreon and whatnot, and you want to support me further, buy me a coffee. Helps out tremendously. Again, I just like to share my art process and the things that I've learned as an artist. I'm self-taught, so any information that I can share with others that helps their art journey, that's really my main goal here. Is to hopefully be able to take some of my struggles and efforts trying to learn art and learn different aspects of art and the art industry and whatnot. I'd like to try to share as much of that with you as possible. That way you don't have to do some of the same kind of groundwork that I did and whatnot. So take a quick look at the whole page again. So I really like using the gray tones. I think it adds a lot of extra depth to the page. So I've really been enjoying that aspect of it quite a bit. Anything to try to create some more depth, for sure. It's a different idea I had for that panel, so we'll go ahead and just going to rotate this just a hair. Work on this just a little bit longer. So these guys will be a little bit fun to do here. They're running. So I'm going to hop right in. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to do a new vector layer for the characters, keep them separate. So I do have on my Twitch and Kick pages, I have it. It should have it in the my link tree on YouTube. But I do have the website linked for the iHand voice pages that have already been finished. So if you wanted to, you could always check out that link and see you know, the story so far. I'm also going to be lettering these pages, or at least trying my hand at lettering them. So I'll probably end up streaming that as well, because we'll be doing that in Affinity Designer. So my goal for the rest of the year is to continue trying to be more active on these platforms, to build a following a little bit, and establish a little bit more of a community I've been wanting to build for the last few years. You know, I feel like I kind of have the opportunity to do that by being able to share this work and this process. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you all join me. So definitely following, subscribing on my channels helps out a ton. I don't mean to sound like a broken record on that, but it really does go a long way. And I could definitely use your help in reaching affiliate on Twitch. So you can go on there, follow me. That'll help out tremendously. You can even sub on there as well. But for me, I'm just trying to be more active. I've got this project that I'm working on anyway, so I just feel like it would be super silly of me not to stream the process, not to share the process. I mean, I know it's different than the vector art that I've been doing on, like, say, my YouTube channel so far, but it's still art. I think there's still stuff that you can learn from it, and I'm not leaving the vector art stuff behind at all. You know, I've got plenty of plans as far as that goes. But yeah, I mean, it all just, I need to, like I said, kind of get a handle on this project. And then once I do that, I do have a couple of logo designs that I want to do on stream. Either that, or I'll actually just make videos out of them, probably. But there'll be full logo design videos from start to finish. So even the drawing process that goes into it. So definitely looking forward to sharing that. So kind of as I'm talking about it and thinking about it a little bit more, I mentioned it earlier, the stream and whatnot. Next week I may not stream. I may go ahead and take that opportunity to work on one of these new video ideas that I want to share with you all. So that might be what I end up doing next week instead of streaming, but we'll see. You know, maybe I still get a chance to hop on and do some streaming. So, anybody who's been hanging out with me today, certainly appreciate. We are making some killer progress on this page. I meant to hop off just a little bit ago, but just keeping the momentum going. Knock out this page on stream today. Yeah, I've definitely been trying to focus on getting a better balance of things and just trying to, I don't know, make the time. Not even find the time, but make the time to do certain things that I've wanted to do and whatnot, and stop with any sort of, I don't know, excuses or anything, right? I mean, if I do it, I do it. If I don't do it, then I don't do it. So it wouldn't really be anybody's fault but my own. So trying to take the opportunities that I have, make the most of them, put in the time and spend the time that I need. So I definitely appreciate you hanging out with me while I'm doing that. You could always be working on your own project and have me on in the background. I know our good friend Russ of the channel, he is working on a story that he's writing while hanging out on stream. So I definitely encourage you, come hang out. Work on your thing. We can chat, talk in the meantime. Cool, Ross. I'm glad. I really appreciate you. By the way, you can support our good friend Russ by picking up The Choice on Amazon Kindle. That is a recent book of his. I had the privilege of being able to do the spot illustrations for it. So you can pick that up, The Choice, on Amazon Kindle. And that's a way that we go ahead and support a fellow member of our community. I have myself a copy. And since I worked on the like the spot illustrations for it, I was able to read the script itself without having to wait for him to publish it and whatnot. So I had a little behind the scenes, not bragging or anything, but no, I bought myself a copy of The Choice as well to have. So it's fun to after doing the illustrations and whatnot, being able to then sit down with the book in digital format and read through it and kind of be able to take it all in. So that's been fun. But, I mean, that's definitely something that I want us to be able to do here. Is I want us to be able to share the work and projects that we've done, and be able to kind of support and help each other. So, I mean, creating, being passionate about something and throwing yourself into the work and then putting it out there, that takes a lot. So having an area or a community where we can kind of support each other in those endeavors, I think, is really important. Yeah, you bet, Russ. That was, like I said, I had an absolute. That was my pleasure working on that. Um, I've always wanted to do spot illustrations for a book. I mean, I think that was one of the things that kind of got me into art as a kid, especially. I remember, I mean, I had a Spider-Man comic that really got me into comics, but as far as being interested in drawing, I was always really taken away by like the spot illustrations uh, in certain kids' books. I know like the Phantom Toll Booth. I remember reading that in school. Oh yeah, this is a really cool little hatching brush, which I use to kind of add some texture to the background, and then for little shadow elements like this. So yeah, that's a very cool tool. But I remember reading the Phantom Toll Booth in school, and just those illustrations in there just blew me away, and that was something that I just remember really looking at and thinking about, and that was really something that really affected my interest in art. And then, you know, getting the Spider-Man comic really then kind of pushed me in the direction of comics and whatnot. Um, there's also another book. It was called like Hank the Cowdog. I believe it's Hank the Cowdog. That one, another one that had really cool, like, because they all had these like pen illustrations. You know what I mean? Like, so actual pen on paper, so that texture and that feel. So yeah, it was just really cool to be able to do spot illustrations like that. Super fun. So this is probably going to catch the majority of the page. Let's just see and work this out a bit. So yeah, I'm essentially just, I guess, going to make everything gray at this point, and then I'll erase away what I don't want. Yeah, outside there. I'm trying to think, do I need... I do not like these little lines on her face. They've got to go. It's just too much. It's just too distracting from far away. So, all right, we got this going on here. Let's get back to... Alright, and we'll turn everything back on, and then we'll just erase out of this layer what we don't want, right? So, what I want to go ahead and do... I want to kind of get two different effects going on here, so I want to this might be a little tedious, but I'm going to break up these sections a bit. This crossbar is always in just the absolute worst spot for me. I could come right through the alien guy here. He's on a different layer, and I'm just trying to affect this dark tone that we have in the background. I'm going to come in with that hatching tool here in a second, Russ, and add some texture. It's a way for me to bring in like some highlights to the background while also adding some texture. And again, that it's similar to me not filling in all the black areas. Sometimes when you leave some of that detail in there, especially in the background and far away, it'll just start reading as additional shapes and things in the background. Oh no, I thought so. Pretty sure I was holding shift. Alright, like what I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm going to cut this out of here. Create another layer under this. I'm going to paste that there. So that way I can always just deal with this section and not have to worry about. So we're going to start back here. Alright, and then the eraser will add some of our detailing here to the tanks. Bar again. I don't know where else you could put that, where else they could like put that bar, but always in the way. Make this just a tiny bit bigger, get a little more coverage. And then always just less information the further we get away from that section there. So now with this part here, I'm gonna I like that to get thinner. I'm going to soften this brush up, and I want to just totally come back here now and see. Alright, so what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to back all this up now. Alright, I got to come in here. It's that layer, that's this layer right here. Alright, let's we need to fill all that in right here. Oh no. Alright, we'll erase that out and okay. Let's get all that out of there. Let's get this out of here. Let's get that out of there. Okay. I'm gonna smarter, not harder this. Okay. There we go. There we go. Smarter, not harder is right. Alright, so now we can turn that back on. That's what we need. And now we'll come in here with our soft brush. Okay. Alright, and then if we wanted to make this really small, we can maybe go. Just to add a little bit of texture there. Alright, now we can add some of our gray tones here to the characters. All right. I like using the tones to create some form on the character. So not only is it good at creating separation and dimension in the artwork, it can also add a little bit of form to the characters. Which is, I think is pretty cool. What I would like to at some point is to take a toned page and to color over it, letting the tones stay there as the shadows and such. I think that might be kind of cool. I like how it adds that nice form and some layers, some additional information there on her cape. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish up the tones on this layer, and we'll be pretty good to go on this page, I think. Let's go ahead and always got to remember to make sure you're on the right layer and make sure you're saving your work as well. Working digitally. All right, let's take a quick look at the page overall. So again, we did a pretty good job today. Got this whole page finished. It was a little bit more than I expected to get done, so I'm super happy about that. But let's go ahead and save this. Talking about saving and layers and all that. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate everyone who is watching, commenting, and stuff like that. Thank you. It really means a lot, and it certainly helps the channel, getting the watch hours, the views, the likes. So just, be sure to follow and subscribe on Twitch, YouTube. I'm trying to reach a affiliate on Twitch, so I need some more followers over there and whatnot. And yeah, it helps me continue to do this and bring you videos and stream weekly. Next week I might take a break from the streaming, and might be working on a video to upload to YouTube. But who knows, if I get the chance, I'll hop on stream. You can always support me and the channel directly with the Buy Me a Coffee link. You could support the channel also by going to my Patreon page and becoming a member there. I offer different vector assets and templates, as well as high resolution finished artwork that I do here on the streams. And yeah, and your support just being here in stream is, it means a lot, and it helps out a ton. So thank you again so much for being here today. I hope you have a great rest of the week and an awesome weekend. Thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate you. To everyone else, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thank you, everyone. Later.